Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm going to show in detail how to hook up a wireless remote on a 2025, and I think it'll be the same for whatever year it is. It's a 560 T-Boss, and it only comes with, from the factory, it only comes with the switch for in and out on the dashboard, and that's very difficult. That's very difficult to do by yourself, because if you don't have some pressure to pull that winch cable out, it will basically, it'll almost go backwards inside the drum, and it will, so it rolls back over itself the wrong way, and then you can't get it in or out. And putting it back in, you want it to be on the drum as tight as possible, and you don't want it all in one place as you spool it, side to side. So having a wireless remote is great. A lot of them come with it, but the T-Boss does not, and I could not find any good videos of anybody showing how to do it. There's a few, there's a few that are very confusing, a little bit too detailed, which somebody probably wouldn't understand. So I'm going to try to do it as simply as possible to show how it's going to go. So let's get to it. So this is what you get. You can buy this on Amazon. I think it's only $14, which is pretty good. It comes with two remotes. I don't really know why you need two, but I guess you can give one to somebody, or if you lose one or whatever, but it still comes with two. And here is the wireless controller. They do come with leads on the end, but long story, but I bought a I was given a Bad Boy Bandit as a replacement for one of my for my 22 Warrior, which was not very good, and it was nothing but problems, so they swapped me out, and that one didn't run. But I had given them this because they lost the remotes when I got it. Even though it was brand new, they didn't have a remote. So I bought this and said, just put it in. They put it in, and then the next day, the thing still didn't run right. So they swapped me out with this 25 T-Boss. They took this right out again for me, gave it back to me. So now I'm going to install it in the T-Boss. So they do come with ends. Which I'll show you. I'm just going to put them on, put new ones on. But I'm going to show how, the easiest way to do this that I can see with the T-Boss. So let's get to that. All right, so you have to remove the hood, which I've already done. There's just two screws up on top, Phillips. Take that out. You can get, so it's nice, you can get at the battery. You can get, as I showed in the video of when I first got this, I added a battery tender lead, which I put into the cubby over there, which is a nice place for it, so it's out of the way. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you in a second where the relay is for the winch. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this under here. I haven't figured out exactly where I'm going to do it, but I'm thinking it'll be somewhere over on this side. I haven't decided yet. We'll figure it out together. But it doesn't really matter, because positives on that side, negatives on this side, the ground. So I'm thinking it's probably going to be over here, because there's a nice area. And basically the way this works is the yellow and the white are the in and out, and I'm not sure which is which, because the wiring on this unit has yellow and it has green, so it does not have white. So I'm assuming that the green and the white are that's what they used. And it's no big deal, because if it's the opposite way, I'll show you, we can just swap the leads. But the red is power, the black is ground, and the blue is the antenna. So you don't do anything with the blue. And the relay is mounted. I don't want to put it back, but the relay is mounted under the passenger side. As you can see, it's mounted right there. So you need to open up the back of it, because some of the relays, they put these in, it's an external one under the hood or somewhere, but this one is inside this box. So what I'm going to do, the easiest way, because you need battery power and battery ground. You don't want to hook to the other two that are in here, because that's what sends the power to the winch. So what I did is I made up my own lead. Let me put it on the tailgate here so you can see it better. I have a big wire caddy, so I've got different colors and that kind of thing. So I just peeled off, this is 14 gauge stranded wire. And why is this not sitting? Because there is a washer underneath it. Okay, that's better. And why doesn't it sit? Because this is an Alumaduty, so it's aluminum, so the magnet will not stick. Basically what I did is I just took about 4 feet of wire off. It's going to be cut shorter. I electrical taped it together. You could wire loom it if you want, but it'll fit better where we're going when it's taped up like this. I'm going to route it. These are the only 2 wires that need to go inside that relay box, are the yellow and the white, and the other can be done up top. So let's snake that through. All right, so if you can see right here, there's a lot of space. There's a lot of space right here, and this is where the wires come through. So I'm just going to feed that down kind of the way it came. Come around underneath here. You can see it's already on its way. It's already on its way to where it's got to go. So I'm going to zip tie it to that wire loom right there. Come inside the grommet, which is right there, and we'll hook it up. We'll hook that up, and I'll show you. Basically, it is going to be this connector, because it's got the male tabs right there. These will just go right onto that. So this makes it much easier, much easier. All right, I was able to go through one of the existing zip ties that were there, so I'm going to do it better afterwards, but at least that keeps it neat out of the way. I got it down through the grommet all the way to where the tape is, so that's all protected, even better than the way they did it. And I'll seal that up a little bit better once it's, once I zip tie it together. I'll get it a little bit neater. So we got the 2 ends right here. We're going to strip that off and put on those connectors. And like I said, here are the 2. Here are the so the yellow and the green. So I'm going to put the yellow to yellow and hope that the green is the white, and we'll see how it works. But I'm not going to close this up until I know it works, because then if I need to just swap them, it'll just a matter of pulling it off and putting it on the other. All right, so I'm not going to show it as I actually do it, because I don't have anywhere to mount the camera. But so this is a crimping tool, and it's a wire stripper. I don't really care for the wire stripping part of it. I like Klein tools, and they do make one of these, and I have it in the house, in our house that we're building. It's over my electrical thing, so I have this in the toolbox, in this, which I take, with all the wiring stuff. So I'm going to use that. But basically they're color coded, so if you see, it shows red, blue, and yellow. The connectors are color coded, so there's a yellow, that's a bigger one, so this is blue. So you just put the crimper in the color. So you put your, I will put this in the blue and crimp it down. That's how you know where it goes. So basically like this. So you go not all the way to the end, but you don't want to be all the way at the far end either, because there's just the plastic there. So you go about just a little bit down, almost in the middle, and put the wire in it and crimp it. That's it. All right, so the ends are on. So like I said, I'm going to put yellow to yellow, and I left extra in here, so there's more than you need, but it's easier to work with them, and I'll just loop it around so it doesn't get kinked. But at least this way, when you're taking stuff apart, when the wires are so short like that, it's hard to do anything when you have to take it apart. All right, so that's how it looks after it's in. So again, yellow following yellow, and I'm using white, which they're using green, but depending on what model you have or what day they made it on, you never know what the colors are. But like I said, worst case is if it goes the wrong way, if it says in and it's going out, I'll just swap these around. So that's basically all you have to do in here. Everything else will be up top. So let's go up top and do it. Alright, so that's where I mounted the controller. So I got the GPS antenna, that antenna right next to each other. And now I just need to connect. So these will just be butt splice connectors right there. We'll put the, like I said, color coded, and then I'll get a couple other wires off my reel, and I will, because this doesn't reach, too short, so I'll do the same thing in black and red, and then we should give it a try. Should work. And what I like to do on these small wires, because this is very small gauge wire, is I strip twice as much as I need, and then I bend it over so that I've got double the thickness when it goes into the butt splices, because otherwise it's such a small wire that you really don't have anything to grab onto. So you don't have to do that, but I've always done that, and it's always worked out well for me. Alright, and what I do is I just wrap up the connection. I have every color of electrical tape, so I just do that. You can use heat shrink sealing. I do have a whole thing of those as well, but call me lazy. But
you're a slacker. You remind me of your father when he went here. He was a slacker too. Can I go now, Mr. Strickland?
I don't ever drive this in the rain. This is all protected under the hood as it is. If I was going to do it down there, just open, if it was mounted, I've seen people when they mount that underneath, then I probably would do that. But like I said, I don't ride this in the rain, and if I happen to be out in it, if I bring it somewhere, that's one thing, but pretty much I just use it here on the property, and I just don't drive it in the rain. So so I'm not going to bother to use the heat shrink, but you can do that if it's going to be in a wet location. Alright, so here we are. Everything's all neatly tucked away, zip tied there. You always want to do, I forgot to mention, you always want to disconnect the negative side of the battery, not the positive, because you want to make sure that if you hit anything like a wrench or something onto the positive, that you will not short it out. So you always want to do the negative. And when you're hooking it back together, like I had to disconnect both of these, obviously, you always want to hook the positive first and then the negative. So I forgot to say that in the beginning. And let's see. So let's see if it works. We'll try this together. Put the key on. Let's hit out. Flip the switch. Out. Nope, it's going the wrong way. So those wires are backwards. So in is making it come out. So I just need to flip those around, and then we'll try it again. That's why I didn't close that up. Alright, so I flipped those around. So now the yellow is on the green and the white is on the yellow. And let's turn it back on. Flip the switch, let's say out, and it comes out. So again, part of the reason why, let's see if I can put this down so you could see why you want this, is because if you're taking this out, you want to pull it, because then it'll come out. I can tell this one wasn't wound in right to begin with. So then to put it back in, you want to kind of reel it from side to side. There you have it. I'm going to button that back up and I'll show you all when it's finished. Alright, here we are all buttoned up. Hood is back on. So like I said, there's just 2 screws up on the top. It slides forward. There's a couple of it's got like a hook like this, so one goes in here, one goes up there. So you kind of just pull it back a little bit. That's where the winch controller is. So you don't need to buy another one. I see some people too, they're buying new ones and everything else. I mean, there's no need to, because it's low voltage. It doesn't do anything. So there's no need to pay $100 and something when you can pay $14 for it. So everything's all neat. Only needed one zip tie. I did it in red. I've got black ones too, but I put the red one on just so you could see it. So that's the only one that I had to add. And I just keep the switch. You know, it's got a glove box right there. And like I said, here is the lead for the battery tender. I just keep it pushed back in there. All right, so there you have it. So as usual, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one, and if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll try to put the links in there. So hopefully this helps people that buy these, because like I said, I couldn't find any video that had anything remotely close to to being even. So just to recap it, I mean, basically it just needs, the only wires that have to go down to that control box are the in and out. And like I said, they were reversed. The yellow I had to swap it. You know, they have yellow and green in there, but they were backwards. So the yellow wasn't even yellow in the way that it was wired. And it could be the winch, who knows. But like I said, it's an easy fix when you've got those clips. So there you go.